Welcome to London. As soon as I got to my hostel on Sunday, I met my dorm mates and ended up heading out to Camden Market for dinner. I got a lamb Yorkshire burrito from the stand, and I have no idea what else was in it, but it was insanely delicious. 10 out of 10 would recommend. There are so many food shops here, there's something for everyone. After heading on the wrong tube split, we hopped off in Clerkenwell and decided to take a long walk to Soho, which was our original destination after Camden Market. This area was pretty busy, but it had a lot of beautiful buildings and streets. After stopping by Buckingham Palace to cheer on the last bit of the London Marathoners, we headed to St. James Park for one of my favorite sunsets ever. When I'm solo traveling, I usually stay in hostels, and it's so easy to meet people, hence me meeting my dorm mates and then immediately going out to explore the city with one of them. I had such an amazing night, and I probably wouldn't have done as much if I didn't meet this person and say yes to going out with them. So if you're ever solo traveling, I highly recommend hostels and saying yes to things. Hello, I'm currently sat in my hostel. All my roommates are gone. I just met one of them from Brazil. She doesn't really speak English, so it was kind of hard to communicate, but we figured it out. Google Translate helped a little bit. As you guys saw, I spent the day just walking around and was so busy. It was like go, go, go. We ended up taking the wrong train, the wrong Northern line. It like splits, and we took the wrong split and ended up in like Angel. I forget the name of the neighborhood, but I bookmarked it. It was very beautiful. Clerkenwell. It was a very peaceful neighborhood. There wasn't a lot of tourists. There was some very beautiful parks and just like buildings, and walking around there was quite nice during the day. Went to Camden. I don't think I really liked Camden Market. There was just too many people there, but I did enjoy everywhere else we went. We saw Buckingham Palace, and I didn't even know this, but the London Marathon was today, which is insane, and there was so many people on the tube or subway. All of it was just packed. Luckily the one I was on was okay, but you'd see the other ones go by and it was like, I literally just changed rooms. I got here, took the tube from the airport to here, got in my room, was gonna shower, and then one of the guys that was in my room, because I was in a mixed dorm, and normally I like doing female only dorms, but when I booked on Hostel World, it said they didn't have any, and so I did a mixed dorm and like met two guys right away, which they were very nice and very sweet. One had a little boo-boo on his bag, and he was like, I waited an hour, and I was like, oh. I ended up walking around with the other guy I met, who was also American. We ended up walking around for frickin' probably 4 or 5 hours. I was gone, and I'm like, I did not want to be gone that long, but we got messed up on the train. We ended up walking an hour to Soho and then Buckingham Palace. And yeah, I wouldn't recommend, honestly. Maybe I just went like on a bad day on a market, but it was just like so touristy and so many shops, and it was like a little grungy, honestly. It wasn't my favorite place, but apologies, I got cut off last night when I was in the hostel. Someone came in the room. I heard the key lock go, and I'm like, turn this off. It's different when you're with strangers. I'm like, I don't need to record myself in front of you. That's what was nice about when I was in Scotland, is I had my own hotel room, so I could just talk to you guys without anyone looking. And even right now, I'm in Hyde Park. There's people walking by, but I'm like, I'm never gonna see these people again. Who gives a... But yeah, last night I was gonna take a chill and then ended up going to dinner with one of the hostel dorm mates that I met, and we ended up walking around everywhere. My favorite part was sunset in St. James Park. It was stunning, absolutely beautiful. I was blown away by the view there. You could see the London Eye and some very beautiful buildings on this one bridge. 10 out of 10 would recommend. And then pretty much went to bed. Honestly, I did sleep 9 hours last night, which I'm so happy about. I have not been sleeping very well recently, so 9 hours, perfect. If I could do 10 tonight, I need to catch up on my sleep debt because it's rough. The time change has been getting to me. I feel like a little better every day, but it's still tricky. So yeah. Happy London day 2. Technically my first full day, and it's almost over. I'm so sorry. It's the afternoon. I just haven't been able to really pick you guys up yet. I went to the British Museum this morning. Before I went to the museum, I went to a cafe. I don't remember what it was called, but it was like an Italian restaurant, but they had breakfast. It was really good, but I had to kind of rush, so I didn't eat all my meal, but I wasn't like super hungry because before I took the tube to get to the museum, I had a croissant. That place is huge. It's so big. I walked around for maybe 3 hours and was getting so tired. I did the whole ground floor and the basement and then a little bit of the upper floors, but I was so dead. Honestly, I'd much rather be sitting outside than in a museum looking at things that were stolen. It's cool to learn about the history, and I did get the British Museum app because they have audio things you can listen to, and so I did that, which was helpful. But really, I wish I would have done like a group tour just so I could have learned more about the history from the guides' perspectives and like them pointing out important stuff. And the audio thing was helpful, so I am glad I did that. But I just wish they would have had a better self-audio experience because I did learn a lot, but I was kind of confused. Not confused, but I feel like I didn't get the full potential that it had to offer maybe if I would have done the group tour, because I saw some walking around and would like listen in and it sounded interesting, and I do think human history is interesting, but honestly I'd rather just watch like a documentary about it. Yeah, I have an interesting relationship with museums. I do really like art galleries more than museums, so I'm gonna see the National Gallery one day. It's just hard because most of it is stolen, or there's stuff that's gifted too, of course, but was that stolen before it was gifted? I don't know. It's a cool place to learn about human history around the globe. Seeing all the artifacts and stuff is cool, and the Greek area was really cool. I really liked Africa. The oldest thing in there was 2 million years old, but it wasn't on display. Kind of rushed through the medieval Europe, Middle East because I was so tired at that point. It was cool to learn about Assyria, and there was a lot about the Greeks, and then Egypt there was a lot about too, pre-Christian and post-Christian, and then they literally had everything. There was China, Korea. The Chinese stuff was cool, and then they had a lot of Buddhist stuff, which was also cool. But again, I just feel really weird about museums. Oh, the Rosetta Stone. That was cool. I guess that was what allowed them to decode Egyptian hieroglyphs because of the Greek written on it. So there was so many people around that I'm like, bruh, so many people taking pictures of this artifact. I always wonder about the Mona Lisa in the Louvre. I'm like, I wonder how many pictures exist of the Mona Lisa. It's like, how many pictures exist of the Rosetta Stone in this glass case? It's like any other museum you've been to, just 20 times bigger. Has so much stuff. I just can't believe how much stuff is in that museum. And it's not even all on display, right? Because the oldest thing wasn't out for display. So how could it all be out for display? I think some things are on loan and stuff, but yeah, I don't know. I just feel kind of weird about it. What do you guys feel? I definitely like art galleries more. When I went in Aberdeen to the art gallery there and just walked around, I feel like that just kind of speaks to me more than this random artifact. I will say the Greek, the Roman, the Assyrian stuff was cool with all the stone and the carvings that tell stories. And then after the museum, I went to this Thai restaurant. It was really good. I got a noodle soup. It was like a spicy noodle soup, and I think it was a new offering that they had. I would go back there. It was really good. And I just read a bit on my Kindle there. Took the tube over here. I'm pretty dead right now. I'm so happy I came to Hyde Park and I've just been sitting here. I love this. Probably gonna sit here a little longer and read my book, then walk a little bit to another hostel and see if they have any female rooms. That's like kind of by Hyde Park, because then I could just come back here every day. This is my favorite part. I love the city, but I love being in nature. This Central Park, places like that make me so happy, but you're also so close to the city. I have some things planned for the next few days that I'm really excited about. I was originally gonna go to Paris too, but there's just too much to see and do here. Like I said, I'm just gonna read in Hyde Park. Probably honestly have a chill night. I will see you later for some exciting days ahead. really facing my public fears right now and vlogging in public, but buenos dias. Good morning. This is so embarrassing, but it's fine. I'm fine. I am so excited. My second full day in London. I'm really tired. I went to bed at midnight, woke up at 6 a.m. and went and grabbed some coffee as you saw, and now I am making my way, I'm basically here, to the Tower of London for my tour of the Crown Jewels and where Henry basically beheaded all of the people. Look at this. What? I'm sorry, what? Excited for today. I have some fun plans, so let's get going. The Tower of London was so interesting and definitely one of my favorite parts. The wealth and the crown jewels was insane. They didn't allow filming inside, but at first I was confused why there wasn't necklaces, bracelets, earrings, other jewelry. And then I realized it's the crown jewels. So they had the crowns, the crown casings. They also had other regalia and things that they used at coronations and formal events. While walking around the tower, they also had playwrights, which was super entertaining. They were pretending they were in history and dressed in costumes. And then the tower itself is actually the white building in the middle, and then that is surrounded on the exterior by the battlements. I would definitely recommend walking along the top of the battlements. It was super cool to go into the towers along the battlements, as well as they had multiple displays for bits of history in regards to the tower. Of course, going into the tower itself is a must. The architecture all around is beautiful, and there's a lot of history in there as well about conquerors and battles and the tower's role in Britain's history. There was also a lot of windy stairs, so be mindful of that. There were definitely some eerie parts, mainly the torture chamber, and then when you enter the tower, the place where the two princes' bodies were hidden, which definitely looked that up. It was super interesting to learn about that. When I went, they were also setting up around 30,000 poppies to mark the 80th anniversary of the end of the Second World War. Overall, the Tower of London was super interesting, and I'm so happy I went. Definitely don't miss this on your next trip to London. I made it to the Tower Bridge, which is really cool. I can't believe Spider-Man fought Magneto here, and I'm standing in the place that happened. Life's crazy. Welcome to London. This is crazy. Wow. Life is wild. I just saw the Tower Bridge, but you couldn't record in the Crown Jewels room, which was fine, but it was so crazy how big the jewels are in some of it was mostly crowns and like the crown casings. I was a little surprised that there weren't more, you know, like necklaces or jewelry that they wear, but it was just mostly crowns, regalia, the staff, coronation stuff mostly. There was a couple swords, some outfits. I got my mom a keychain because she was like, send me pictures, and I'm like, well, didn't know I couldn't, sorry about that. But yeah, I'm very happy I went. I had the chills the whole time in the jewel room just because so many monarchs who have so much power had these things. I don't know. I'm like weird about time and space. Even in the Tower of London where the princes' bodies were found, where people were beheaded, tortured, wild animals were there, which is crazy. As like gifts to the royals, that's where they house them. And then I did actually plan on going up there, but like I'm just gonna walk across. I saw where Magneto and Spider-Man fought on the ground, so it's okay if I don't go up there. And it was like 16 pounds, so like 18, 19, $20 US dollars. So I just walked across, and I'm gonna go to Borough Market now. I did enjoy the Tower of London a lot more than the British Museum because it's British history. Do you know what I mean? Like I'd much rather see all the Egyptian stuff in Egypt than in the British Museum. It was cool to see, don't get me wrong, but I just feel weird about museums and seeing that stuff displayed in a museum versus in its natural state. It was interesting too about the Tower of London. some of the stuff that they had displayed, the armors for certain Conqueror, William the Conqueror or something like a millennia ago, it wasn't even actually what he wore. So some of it's legit, some of it's not. They just like have a replica so you can get an idea. Apparently I was overhearing a guide say. But yeah, I'm gonna hope this audio turns out okay. I'm gonna walk to Borough Market. It's about the same tube as it is a walk, so I'm like, I'll just use my feet, walk there, go back to the hostel, rest, and then we have more exciting things this afternoon. This has been like one of my favorite parts, which is wild because it's literally just a bridge. I don't know. Also, my fear of vlogging right now is non-existent, but I think that's because the people walking behind me, I can't see them. So I just think they exist, if that makes sense. I'm just looking at the river right now. I have a pretty stunning view. Okay, let's go to Borough Market. While I did not love Camden Market, I enjoyed Borough Market so much more. They had so much food, cheese, seafood, treats, and more. I got the paella and chocolate-covered strawberries, which were incredible. If you go to London, do not miss Borough Market. That's so good. I came to H&M because it's freaking hot in London, and so I'm getting a tank top because my dumb ass didn't pack any tank tops. And I might get shorts too because I just bought a skirt and I don't really want to ride around the tube or walk around in a skirt. I ended my second full day in London going to a service and touring St. Paul's cathedrals. These tours did add up, which is why I didn't want to spend $20 going into the Tower Bridge. The Tower of London was $50, St. Paul's was $35, and if you want to go to the cathedral but don't want to pay, the services are free. You just can't tour the cathedral. Also, the British Museum was free for entry. A tour would just cost you money. The cathedral was absolutely stunning, and I could not get over how massive it was and all the detailing throughout the space. We truly do not make buildings like this anymore. With the tour, you could go up to the top and get a view of London. There was a ton of spiraling stairs and I was definitely sweaty by the time I reached the top. One step at a time. But the views were worth it. It was beautiful. You couldn't record during the service, but the choir was amazing and I got a clip of them practicing while I was touring. They also have a crypt you can go into, and I really enjoyed my time here. The service was beautiful and the tour was incredible. I am happy that I ended up paying for the tour. Buenos dias! Good morning. It is the next day, and I think I'm gonna end the vlog here. Thank you so much for coming along for my first couple days in London. I had a really phenomenal time. Hold on. Sorry, I got kicked out of the last spot, but again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Stick around because there will be a part 2 coming out very soon. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Peace.